Hi Aspen 2, it's Mrs Barker. I thought we could have an Aspen 2 quiz. I've really enjoyed over the past few months doing some quizzes with my family and my friends, so I thought I'd write one for you guys. The quiz has got 7 rounds. Each round has got 8 questions, and at the end round is a picture round, which should hopefully load as well, of logos. So the round titles are as follows: Dover, General Knowledge, TV and Film, Books, Art and Music, Sport, and then, as I said, the picture round. What I suggest we do is, if you want to write down your answers as we go, and then what you could do is you could email them to me. If you wanted to take part. You don't have to email them to me, you could just do it as a bit of fun. I'm not going to do the answers today. I'm not going to send those out today. I will do those a separate video, maybe in about a week's time. So I'm just going to read out the questions today, and then you can check in about a week's time and find out whether you got them correct. But if anybody wants to send them in, then please do, and I can let you know what your score is. So we'll start with the Dover round. And it's all about things to do with Dover. So, question number 1. Which county is Dover in? Which county is Dover in? Question 2. The White Cliffs of Dover was a song sung by Vera Lynn during World War II. According to that song, what creatures could be seen flying there? So what creatures in the song The White Cliffs of Dover could be seen flying? Question 3. What natural thing is Aspen a type of? What natural thing is Aspen a type of? Question 4. Which famous graffiti artist created a mural on the side of a local building relating to the EU? Which graffiti artist created a mural on the side of a local building relating to the EU? Question 5. Is Dover a city, town, or village? Is Dover a city, town, or village? Question 6. In which city is the closest cathedral to Dover? In which city is the closest cathedral to Dover? Question 7. Ian Fleming wrote several of his spy novels in Dover. What was the name of his 007 spy? So what's the name of Ian Fleming's 007 spy? Question 8. Which important Dover building was built in the 12th century and used during World War II for its secret tunnels? So in which Dover building was used in the World War II for secret tunnels? So that's the Dover round. Have a think about some of those questions. You can always pause the video if you need to. Let's move on to general knowledge. So question 1. The Titanic was launched in which city? The Titanic was launched in which city? Question 2. This requires me to say this very clearly and carefully. Who picked a peck of pickled peppers? Who picked a peck of pickled peppers? You could have a go at saying that rhyme to yourself if you like. Question 3. How many milligrams in a gram? How many milligrams in a gram? Question 4. In what substance do mosquitoes, those bugs that bite you, lay their eggs? So what substance do mosquitoes lay their eggs? Question 5. In which board game do you draw the meaning of a word? So which game do you play where you draw the meaning of the word and people have to guess it? Question 6. What is the largest cat in the world? What is the largest cat in the world? Question 7. What bird is the symbol of peace? So what bird symbolises peace? And the last question for this round. The word ketchup comes from which language? The word ketchup, as in tomato ketchup, comes from which language? So have a think about those general knowledge questions. Again, you can pause it if you need to. So TV and film now. Question 1. What is the name of Shrek's best friend? What is the name of Shrek's best friend? Question 2. Some of you will know I'm a massive fan of Harry Potter. So which school does Harry Potter go to? Which school does Harry Potter go to? Question 3. What is Doctor Who's time machine called? What's the name of Doctor Who's time machine that he travels in? Question 4. In which film would you find the snowman called Olaf? So which film is Olaf in? Question 5. What sort of animal is the video game character Sonic? Sonic the what? Question 6. Which Disney film does the song Circle of Life come from? Which Disney film does the song Circle of Life come from? Question 7. In which film is an island taken over by dinosaurs? In which film is an island taken over by dinosaurs? And the last question for this round. What is the name of the pub in EastEnders? What's the name of where they drink in EastEnders? So that was the TV and film round. If you need to pause, feel free. We'll move on to books now. So, question 1. Who is Peter Pan's pirate enemy? Who is Peter Pan's pirate enemy? Question 2. Who stole Christmas in the Dr. Seuss story? Who stole Christmas in the Dr. Seuss story? Question 3. In the Jungle Book, what kind of animal is Baloo? In the Jungle Book, what kind of animal is Baloo? Think about that song that character sings. Question 4. Finish this book title. The Lion, the Witch and... What is it? The Lion, the Witch and... Question 5. Who had an encounter with 3 bears? Who met 3 bears? Question 6. Which of these is not a Mr. Men character? Mr. Nosy, Mr. Snow, or Mr. Smart? So which one's not a Mr. Men character? Mr. Nosy, Mr. Snow, or Mr. Smart? Question 7. Who wrote Matilda, The Witches and the BFG? Who's the author of those 3 books? Matilda, The Witches and the BFG. Question 8. Which book series first began with the books The Terrible Tudors and The Awful Egyptians? What's the name of those group of books that started with The Terrible Tudors and The Awful Egyptians? So that's the end of our books round. Let's move on to art and music. Question 1. Which artist painted the Mona Lisa? Which artist painted the Mona Lisa, the one with the serious looking woman? Question 2. In which country is the Louvre Museum? So which country does that museum live in? Question 3. How many strings does a violin have? How many strings does a violin have? Question 4. Who sings Single Ladies? The one with that dance. Who sings that? Question 5. What is it called when you discuss how high or low a note is in music? So when you're talking about whether something's high or low, is it volume, pitch, or tempo? Question 6. Red, blue and yellow are all what type of colours? If you're describing those 3 colours, what type of colours are they? Red, blue and yellow. Question 7. The ukulele looks like a small version of what instrument? Think about the ukuleles you might have played in school. What is that a type of? Question 8. What is the technique in which you do small dots of colour to make a bigger image? When you do all those dots and they make up a bigger image, what's that called? And that is the end of art and music. Next round, probably not one I'm very expert in, but sport. So question 1. What are the colours of the 5 Olympic rings? What are the colours of the 5 Olympic rings? Question 2. How many pockets does a snooker table have? How many pockets does a snooker table have? Question 3. In which sport was Muhammad Ali a world champion? In which sport was Muhammad Ali a world champion? And question 4. Crawl, backstroke and butterfly are different types of methods in which sport? Crawl, backstroke and butterfly, which sport would you find those in? Question 5. The term in 10-pin bowling, which describes having knocked all the pins down with your first bowl, what's that called? So what's the term in 10-pin bowling that describes having knocked down all the pins with your first bowl? Question 6. What is the name of the Australian throwing stick that can return to its thrower? What is the name of that stick you throw that returns back to you? Question 7. Ping pong is an alternative name for which sport? So ping pong is an alternative name for which sport? And finally, in this round, in which sport might you do a slam dunk? What sport might you do a slam dunk in? The last round is the picture round, so I'll put that at the end of this quiz. So just a reminder, you can pause this, answer them, try not to use Google, have a go at getting some of those answers yourselves. And then if you want to, you've got my email address on the letters we sent home to mums and dads. So do send me an email if you want me to mark it. If not, wait a week and I'll put up the answers. So I wish you the best of luck. Let's see who gets on, and we'll maybe put that on Facebook, how some people get on with the Aspen 2 quiz. Take care for now and keep safe, and I'll see you in a week's time.